Liverpool, what has worked for them is that he has kept it simple. You understand? We defend well and we counter-attack when we have the opportunity. And Salah has been brilliant for them. I mean, for me, he's actually a contender for the Ballon d'Or because definitely the way he's playing, the chances he creates. Because you see, we focus on the goals he scores, but the assists and the chances he creates up there are actually also quite interesting.
And I'm right here with Dennis, one of first half podcast panelists. Welcome, sir.
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. So, what's your take on the game?
Well, I mean, it was a great game. Very disappointing for City fans because I think City didn't show up and Liverpool dominated the game. I mean, from the beginning, nobody expected much from City anyway. I think nobody expected City to win. But looking at the kind of game it was and being a high-end game, we were expecting that at least they would show up and be able to make the game a bit competitive and exciting for the neutrals. But they didn't, and it was quite disappointing.
Right. Very disappointing for City. At least I expected them to have a goal. Do you think their key striker, Erling Haaland, do you think his absence in a game impacted the scoreline?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for their past few games, I see that Pep is gradually adapting to a new tactics whereby when the opposition plays a high line, they are going direct, whereby the keeper is trying to put the ball behind the defenders because Haaland has the pace and the power to try and cause something from there. And they've actually won a few games from that strategy. So him not being here, I think it actually affected them a bit because the way they played without a powerful striker in front who could worry the defense, they didn't do much in the attacking front.
Well, talk about Haaland. Akanji is out, Rodri is out. Do you think that also impacted the game in any way?
Well, it did, but I think Pep's strategy was a bit weird for me because they were 2-0 down before you saw him bringing on some experienced players like Kovacic, Gundogan, and all these players who could have actually affected the game more. But I think I could understand where he was going because he felt that with the running power of Liverpool, he needed legs in the midfield, players who were going to be able to give him that level of energy. So he brought in these young lads who were supposed to do the job, but they couldn't, and it showed in the game. So the time he brought them in, there was not much they could have done because there wasn't. Maybe if they had started, they would have considered those 2 goals so easily, and the game would have been a bit more competitive. But the time they came, they couldn't affect the game in any way. So yeah, I think them being out of the game obviously had an impact.
Right. Let's go to Liverpool. Do you think Slot's tactics is working with the team, or you think the boys have gathered some energy and they are pushing them, so like they are driving themselves?
Well, I've always said is that Klopp has benefited from a very great squad. Yes, Slot, yes. And these guys are basically, they know how to do the job, and he has basically tweaked some few things that have made them a bit more defensive, whereby you're not able to score against them easily. But when it comes to players like Salah scoring goals, creating chances, I think it's been there since Klopp's time. So, I mean, whatever he's done, I think it's actually made them, if you ask me what has been his most successful impact on the team, it's how they concede goals and chances. It has actually really reduced, and that has, because Liverpool has never really had a challenge with scoring goals since Klopp's time. But now, they are now able to defend their post and they are able to not concede more goals and keep clean sheets. So that has been what has actually put them to the top. Yeah.
So let's talk about Doku and Trent's matchup. It was a very interesting matchup. Do you think Trent's energy for the team is gradually coming down because of him going to Real Madrid? I mean, all these talks about him moving, or you think Doku really got him?
No, I think Trent has always had deficiencies in his defending, so it's not anything new. But I think Doku was just doing too much. I think as much as he was trying to make an impact, sometimes bringing the ball to a halt, trying to take a man on, as much as you're trying to do that and it looks exciting, the other defenders are getting into position. So by the time you beat him, someone else is there to cover anyway, so it affects the attack. So I think he was doing too much. It was not necessary to try and take Trent on so many times to try and show that he's a good defender. Sometimes for a winger, all you have to do is just you beat your man and put the ball in the box and let's see what happens. But he was doing too much. I mean, he did. I mean, I think with all the City players, he showed the most. But I think that he could have been better at the end in terms of his end, what he gave them at the end of play, because he was doing too much and it didn't really yield any results.
Right. So what's your general rating on the game today? Or let's say, what's your rating on City's performance?
Well, City has been poor. I think Pep needs to look at his strategy well, because it's gotten very boring. And if you look at their gameplay, they just taking the ball from left to right, sideways, and it's not effective. At some point, you need to penetrate the box. You could get a penalty, you could get a deflection, you should shoot. But this whole thing of trying to get your wingers to take their left backs and right backs one-on-one and all that, I think teams are catching on to that, because most of the teams are basically letting their wingers come back to support the left backs and the right backs. So once you beat one man, there's another person there. So it becomes very, very boring. So you can see that all his disciples, Arteta and Maresca in Chelsea, their play is becoming one-sided. They go left, they come right, and there's no penetration in the box. Football is about just putting the ball in the box and see what happens. Defenders do make mistakes. The goalkeepers make mistakes. If you don't create a chance, how do you score a goal? You can't always have a perfect opportunity to score. Sometimes you need to create it, you need to force it. And I think some way, somehow, he's being found out, because his players are now older, so they are not faster. De Bruyne is not faster on the ball. Gundogan is not faster on the ball. Most of his team is now over 30 years. He's now brought in young guys who are now learning the trade, the way he wants to play. So for this season, maybe top 4 will be the best that they can do. Then next season, maybe if he is able to bring in more players, because I've read that most of the De Bruyne and the Gundogan and whatever are all being let to go. So he's going to bring in a new force to try and create something new and build a team around Haaland. If he's able to do that, fine. But for this season, it looks like the ideas are not there.
That's too bad. What do you think Liverpool is doing right that is making them stay on top of the league? Because right now they are 11 points clear.
Yeah.
So what do you think they are doing right?
Well, I mean, if you ask me, this season the Premier League has been poor. Most of the teams that we were expecting to challenge for the title have all fallen off. Arsenal has their own issues. Obviously, City has also had their issues. But Liverpool, what has worked for them is that he has kept it simple. You understand? We defend well and we counter-attack when we have the opportunity. And Salah has been brilliant for them. I mean, for me, he's actually a contender for the Ballon d'Or, because definitely the way he's playing, the chances he's creating, because you see, we focus on the goals he scores, but the assists and the chances he creates up there are actually also quite interesting. So for me, what Liverpool has done very well is that their defending has improved compared to Klopp's time. Klopp's time was a heavy football. We go all attack, and once you get a counter, you definitely get your goals against them. But now they are able to play in such a way that you don't get more chances against them, and that has really improved them being up top there. They've lost just one game all season, and that is quite remarkable. So for me, they are definitely going to win the league, because Arsenal is not showing anything that shows that they can actually push them, because this weekend was an opportunity for Arsenal to put pressure on them, and they dropped the points. So definitely they are going to win. Yeah. Right.
Final question. What do you think about the officiating of today's game?
Well, I think the game was quite straightforward. There was not much incidents that needed big calls from the referee. I didn't see any penalty shouts that was really significant. I didn't see any fouls that required a red card. So it was actually quite a smooth game, and the referee allowed it to flow. So the officiating, there was not much to complain about.
All right, thank you very much. First Half TV.
Yeah, thanks.